Good morning, everyone. Wait for some more people to join. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Morning, Tim. Wait for a few more people to join. We haven't hit 10 o'clock yet. Alrighty. Wait just a couple more minutes. Good morning to those who've just joined us. We're just waiting a couple more minutes for a couple more people to join. Morning, Nicola. Happy Wednesday. Halfway through the working week. Good morning, Jade. Morning, Abby. Morning, Jason and Paige. Yes, happy hump day. All right, we might get started. We'll let a few more people join as they come in. But so good morning, everyone. I'm Corby. I'm running the webinar today. And thank you so much for joining us. So as always, we're recording this session. So we will send you a link after to the recording today, and you can get in touch with AiiMS if you have any questions with them. So during this session, we'll be speaking with Matt, who's the director from AiiMS, about how you can build your profile and win more jobs with social media. We'll take some time to do a Q&A at the end, so you can submit your questions in the chat as we go, or if you have something at the end, you can always ask that. So it's just on the right-hand side of the screen, and you can submit as you go, or at the end as well. So I'm just going to present Matt from AiiMS, if he's there.
G'day, guys. Thanks, Corby.
All good. So AiiMS is a corporate supporter of MPAQ, as well as a digital production and marketing agency who specialise in assisting trades and services-based businesses with their growth using high-performance marketing solutions. So as I said earlier, today Matt is joining us, and he's the founder and director of AiiMS. So welcome, and thanks, Matt. You can take it away.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Corby, and good morning and welcome to everybody. Super excited about this particular event and been looking forward to it for quite some time, and particularly partnering with Master Plumbers Association of Queensland. So we've been partners with these guys for quite some time, and it's such an amazing organisation with an amazing group of members. This particular event, I suppose, is all things around foundations and digital marketing and how to build your profile. This morning we have, I suppose, only an hour. We have a truckload of information to get through. We're going to cover quite a number of topics. You know, the world of digital marketing is enormous, and I could probably talk for 6 months straight and only touch 10%. So we've only got about 60 minutes this morning, and we're going to touch on quite a few different topics. But just while we're getting started, I'd be keen to sort of get to know and understand the room. So if you can, while we wait for a couple more people, in the comment section, just pop in either your business name and even where you're from. I suppose we'd be keen to understand whereabouts we are located. I know we've got a couple of people from Sydney and a couple of businesses from outside of Queensland, but yeah, definitely be interested to understand where everyone's located. I suppose it's a tough time at the moment. A lot of businesses are in lockdown. A lot of businesses are restricted. Myself, we're based in Sydney. And obviously we're pretty much in lockdown. So I have a collared shirt on, but I've got no pants on underneath here, so it's nice and casual. So g'day, Nicola. Thanks very much. Nicola from Cairns. Jade, Franklin Plumbing from Tamborine. Thanks for joining us, guys. Nice to meet you guys. Hope Island in Queensland. Lovely, beautiful part of the world. We got in Dalby, west of Brisbane. Thanks for joining us, Jody. Lovely to have you guys with us. So just while we're waiting for a couple more people, I might just basically introduce, I suppose, the topic of today and what we're going to be talking about. So essentially, the theme is stop your leaking taps, how to build your profile, elevate your business, and ideally win more jobs with social media and your business profile building. The key thing that we want to talk about today is this: building your digital business profile. So we have an enormous experience dealing with plumbers, right? And I suppose what we want to talk about today are some of the foundational stuff, right? So if I'm going to go through the quick agenda, you'll realize just how much we have to get through, and I'm going to speed, hard, fast, quick. A lot of information I'm going to chuck at you. You're probably going to be sweating and exhausted by the end of it. But if you take away 10%, you're definitely in a better position than what you were before you started. If you take away half or even a couple of key points, there's definitely some really good information and beneficial content today. So we're going to talk about building your reputation and building your online business profile. We're going to talk about some of the fundamentals in marketing for plumbing companies. I'm going to touch on custom websites, the importance of and the value that a website holds for a plumbing company. We're going to dive into Google My Business, local search results, and the importance and the rise of Google reviews and just how important they are to plumbing businesses. We're going to introduce the idea of social media and how you can actually implement and take action and use it to your advantage. And obviously, we're going to touch on content. Got some really cool ideas about how to create content, particularly for the plumbing market as well. So let's get stuck in. Today is this. The focus is about building foundations. Now, right now, it is a strange world, tough times, business restrictions, lockdowns. Right now, more than ever, I think it's highlighted the importance about building and future-proofing your business. Those of you that are marketing, advertising, whether it's online, digital, Google, Facebook, whatever your strategies are, I think the important strategy right now is about realizing that consistency is the hardest thing to nail in terms of getting new customers and marketing your business. So the goal is about setting foundations. Today, we're going to touch on how to build online foundations, building digital assets. And I'm going to touch on the importance of that keyword there, digital assets. It's about building trust and about building business. So I'll introduce us in a second, but I just want to highlight something particular. What we are is we are in the game of building businesses, right? We're all about business growth, and we do that via digital marketing strategies. What you're not going to hear from us, and what you're not going to hear from me today, is how to get 1,000 leads for $7 in the next 45 days, guaranteed skyrocket your business, overnight success. It doesn't work. There are no hacks. There's no gimmicks. There's no tricks. Building a business doesn't happen overnight. Building a successful plumbing company definitely takes a lot of hard work. Doing so through digital marketing, even more so. So we're going to talk about how to build your business online, not how to get a couple of quick tips, tricks, hacks on how to skyrocket your business, because it doesn't work. Let's get stuck in. So let me just introduce AiiMS, just so you have a bit of understanding about who we are, and I suppose a bit about our background. So established, we've been around for about 11 years now. So in digital marketing, essentially we are veterans. Currently, we have a team of about 50 marketing specialists that ranges from designers, developers, Google specialists, SEO, social media, videographers, developers, designers, consultants, coaches, you name it. We are the largest Google Premier partner and largest Microsoft partner in the country. We are the #1 digital marketing agency for the trade and construction industry in Australia and New Zealand. That goes based on size, that goes based on campaign experience and client growth. We're currently working with over 100 plumbers, right? Now, why am I saying that? It's not just a flex. The reason why I'm explaining that to you is to give you a little bit of an understanding about our experience in the plumbing market. Here's a couple of examples of just a handful of the clients that we currently work with. We have worked with over probably 3,000 or 4,000 small businesses, predominantly trade and service-based businesses over the last 10, 11 years, right? And out of those 3,000 or 4,000 businesses, there's probably been 300 or 400 different verticals, industries, and categories of businesses that we've worked with. I can tell you right now that plumbing is our absolute specialty. Now, again, not a flex, not a, hey, look, we're the best and trust us, but I just want to give you some groundwork in terms of understanding where this content comes from today. We have a really good understanding, not just from a Google or a design or a digital perspective. We have an understanding on a commercial level about how the plumbing market works, how your consumers operate, how your customers are looking for your products and services, all the way to how they purchase and become a client with you. So we've worked with small, medium, large, maintenance, residential, strata, commercial, construction, renovation, plumbers, you name it. We have a really good understanding, and a lot of this content today is built off the back of that. So there's a couple of photos of the team mucking around and so on and so forth, but we won't take our time with that. Quick intro on me, just again, so you have a bit of background about who is this bloke. And I'm going to apologize. The lighting here is so bright, it looks like I am an absolute ghost. But I sort of say this is the lockdown COVID 10. Haven't seen any sun for the last 6 weeks, but excuse how white I currently look. I look tanned in that particular photo. But so I'm the co-founder and head marketing coach here at AiiMS. I have had over 18 years in digital marketing and small business advertising. Essentially, I started my career when I was 17 working for Yahoo, local search, working with local businesses, and I've never left the industry since. So I do have a good understanding of how to operate in the market. My specialty is in branding, is in marketing, is in lead generation, sales strategy, process, business coaching, mentoring for small businesses. It's my absolute passion. The role I play in AiiMS these days is primarily coaching and mentoring a lot of our new clients and a lot of our small to medium trade-based businesses. My key areas of specialty and main areas of expertise are in trades, are in sales, marketing, particularly for anything HVAC, plumbers, electricians, air conditioning businesses. I have a wealth of experience and knowledge, and that's some of the stuff I want to share with guys today. All right, so let's dive in. Talk about digital marketing for the plumbing industry. Now, there's a number of different opportunities on how a plumbing company advertises or promotes their business for the purpose of either extra exposure, generating leads, and or picking up new customers and winning jobs, right? If we look at digital, there's a number of platforms. We look at this Google Ads, there's SEO, There's Google My Business or local search. There's Bing or Microsoft. Then we've got our social platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. You got your lead generation or pay-per-lead sites, server seeking, High Pages, OneFlare, your directories, Yellow Pages, TrueLocal, you name it. There are a number of different tactics and strategies for a plumbing company to market their business. We're going to start the journey and we're going to talk about Google, right? We're going to talk about Google for the plumbing market, and I'll tell you why. 80% of any Australian who starts their journey or starts their search looking for a local business, even more so for a trade or service-based business, starts their journey on Google. So when they decide that they're looking for a local plumber, when they have a block drain or they have a leaking tap or they have a sewer issue or whatever their problem is, hot water, gas, doesn't matter, right? When they have a problem or looking for a service provider and therefore a solution, 80% start their journey on Google. So we're going to start at the top, right? 46% of all Google searches include a location. I say that statistic because I want to highlight the importance of local search. People search local, people buy local. So the importance of local marketing is rising and rising, and that's as a result of the mobile search. Because 52% of people search on Google using a mobile when they're looking for a plumber. So no longer are we sitting in front of desktops, we're on our mobile, we're looking for plumbers near me, local plumber, block drain specialist, so on and so forth. So that the rise of mobile has created this situation. Now, we're working currently with over 100 different plumbers across Australia and some in New Zealand. Now, we have a vast experience and a huge level of experience in working with plumbers across all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Google, Bing, Microsoft, Yahoo, video, everything, right? Everything. I can tell you right now, your starting marketing strategy that is the most effective, the most dominant, if your number one initiative and goals and objectives is in lead generation or acquiring traffic, exposing your business, and generating leads and winning new customers, the number one front-end marketing strategy has definitely become Google. Whether that's Google AdWords, pay-per-click, or SEO, organic search, but the number one and most dominant platform for plumbers to generate leads and attract new customers is on Google. That's amazing. But with the rise of this platform in both consumers searching for your products and services, the demand for your services ever increasing, enter the rise and ever increasing amount of competition. So now more than ever is Google become the most competitive platform for a plumber. Now, I'll tell you right now, on Google Ads and SEO, and particularly Google Ads, the plumbing market is literally one of the most competitive, the toughest, and if not executed correctly, one of the most expensive industries to market, compete, and succeed in. Hence the reason why a strategy is required. Now, what we're talking about today is not going to be Google Ads. What I'm not talking about today is how to get 1,000 leads from Google Ads. We're not going to dive into Google Ads. We can talk about that another time. I want to go back to basics, and I want to talk about fundamentals and the pillars about building your profile. So things like Google AdWords or SEO or your other marketing strategies, they're more effective. Whether you're not investing into Google Ads or SEO or digital marketing for lead generation, the things I want to talk about today in the fundamentals or foundations about building your profile online will also have a major impact. So the summary of today, the basic principles, the fundamentals in marketing still remain the same. In order to give yourself the best shot to compete, to succeed, marketing or not marketing, we need to focus on two things: trust and value. So the goal of building your digital profile online, your online reputation, is about elevating the trust and the value. Now, what the hell is a business profile? Now, that's what we need to get stuck into, right? So your business profile essentially is how your network, your audience, your customers, and anybody in the world identify, perceive, and ultimately judge your business. Yeah. Whether Google, Bing, like I said, YouTube, to Facebook, Instagram, High Pages, One Flash, Service Seeking, every single platform in between, in the eyes of your customer, how you look online, what your profile stacks up is a direct reflection of your business. And ultimately, if it's a customer, is going to be the determining factor between customer engaging or customer moving to a competitor. So our goal today is to highlight and discuss all of the key areas you need to focus on in elevating your online reputation and your business's digital profile. So the goal is this, right? What I love about marketing is it's all about perception. You have the ability to determine what your identity is, what your perception in the eyes of your customer is, and you do that through marketing, right? So taking control of your digital profile starts here. You have the ability to control the perception, control how you're viewed in your customer's eyes and how you are perceived. Your goal is to establish trust, being the number one factor in marketing. People buy from trustworthy people. So let's establish and elevate your trust in your profile and how you look. Highlighting value. Customers want value. You need to determine and promote and communicate the message of that value. Now, the journey starts here again. The best way for you to say to yourself, okay, how do I look online? What's my business profile look like? The easiest starting point is Google search your business name. That's the best thing I can say. So simple, so silly. Google search your business name. What comes up on that first page of Google is your most important real estate, right? Any link that comes up is the most important real estate. Essentially, that is your digital profile, right? I'll show you shortly and I'll discuss it. There's a big portion of your customers who do exactly that. Found you, go to Google, search your business name. Whatever comes up, links, websites, directories, is what your digital profile is and what you've got to get a hold on. Consumers now have more access and information and can access the answers and information immediately and within seconds. So they have the ability to see the good, the bad, the ugly. You're totally transparent. You're totally exposed, particularly when they're looking for a digital, I beg your pardon, a local plumber, and it's going to have an impact before they decide. So this is the highlight to say this is applicable for everybody, regardless of whether you're advertising or marketing or not, right? Google, whether your customers are finding you from Google, so you're running Google ads and they're finding you from there. You're doing SEO and investing into SEO, they're finding you from Bing or Google, looking for a local plumber. Whether your customers are coming from a referral or word of mouth, or an old customer has referred a friend. Whether you're advertising and you're getting leads from High Pages, One Flash, Service Seeking. Whether your main marketing strategy is offline, you know, letterbox drops, mail outs, fridge magnets, local newspapers, bus advertising. Whether you're more in commercial construction, so they're tenders, builders, strata managers, so on and so forth, or whether they just saw your ute drive past. A big portion of all of those different types of customer types, before they inquire, before they pick up the phone, they're doing their due diligence on your business. They're having a sticky beak just before they decide to make that decision about who you are. And they're either starting with your business name on Google or they're looking for your reviews. So the big thing is this. We found a big portion of before they engage, they're reviewing your business. If they're dissatisfied with what they're finding, they're moving on to your competitors. Even after they engage, before they proceed with job or proceed with booking, they're also doing their due diligence, which also has an impact on converting the lead to a job. This is the biggest stat that I want you to all remember, and this really, really highlights the importance here. Up to 65% of a customer's decision is and can be made prior to them even calling. Now, this is purely based on what they see online, what they view online. Have a think about that. So when I talk about the importance of building trust, building your profile, highlighting value, communicating message, particularly when you are advertising or investing into marketing, think about the importance of your digital profile and your online identity when over 65% of those customers actually form the decision that they are proceeding with this particular service provider before they even call. Your marketing should be doing some of the legwork. Your marketing assets, your marketing material, what you have online should be doing some of the legwork for you. When marketing meets sales, meets service, that is when you have an efficient engine, an efficient model. Don't rely on sales. Don't rely on amazing craftsmanship. Sales, marketing, service is when it's going to all align and effectively perform. Now, when you've Google searched your business name and decided how you look and what you look, and you found a couple of dodgy links, or your Facebook page hasn't been updated, your last post on Instagram was Happy Friday in June 2017, you've got 2 reviews and one of them says you're an asshole, or whatever it is, right? That's how you're being judged. Now, go back to Google search a couple of your competitors, key competitors, whether they're local, whether they're the big guy, whether they're the small guy, whether they're online competitors. Google search their business name and then compare yourself. And I can assure you that's the difference. That's the difference, right? This entire methodology is not about building your digital profile and then deciding how many customers as a result you're winning from it. This is actually building your digital profile to find out how many customers you're losing. And I'm going to highlight that in a second. So let's get stuck into it, right? Now, the topics, the 3 areas of what we're going to talk about is this, right? Profile building, right? The 3 key areas that I want to focus and promote and highlight, because they're the 3 areas that you guys control, right? I want to be able to give you guys actionable, impactful, and ideas, tactics, and opportunities that you can take away and do yourself, right? I don't want to go too strategic and over the top. I want to do simple things that you can do yourself in-house with your team or yourself today, tomorrow, next week, that I know will have a substantial impact on that. Not sure what happened there. Cool. So let's start with what you need to do to build your profile, right? The number 1 factor is your website. We'll talk about that in 2 seconds, and that's going to be the starting point. The second point we're going to cover is and are your social media profiles. Which ones, what you need to do, and what the truth is about the role they play for a plumbing company. There's a lot of, I believe, and again, opinion, but plenty of experience to back that opinion, a lot of misconceptions about the role that social media should play in a plumbing business. I see a lot of businesses say, hey, I'm trying to get leads. I'm an emergency plumber, for argument's sake, blockchain, so on and so forth. Should I do Facebook or Google? Because a lot of people are telling me Facebook. I'll explain to you the difference and the reasons why. The last one I'm going to talk about is Google My Business and the importance of Google My Business, Google Local, and the role that reviews can play in your business. Let's dive in and talk about the importance of custom websites. So for a plumbing company, your website is a lot more and needs to be a lot more than just a website. It's 2021. For a plumbing company, your website is an actual business asset. Not just a digital asset or a marketing asset. They're definitely those 2, but they're an actual asset to your business. You're mobile, you're service-based. So the website is actually home. The website's your billboard, your showroom, your main marketing asset, your marketing material. It's your number 1 sales rep. It's the only link or the key link and connection between you and your audience, and the market, and the customer. It is the opened door. It is generally the first entry point for potential customer, prospects, or any part of the relationship reaching out to your particular business. It's the first door they open. First impressions are everything. When you're marketing, When you're spending money on Google ads or SEO or whatever strategies, and you're driving, even if you're spending money on radio ads and driving people to the website, it has a major impact. First impressions are super important. So how does your website indicate or build your value? I'm going to touch on, again, we can't go too deep into every strategy, but I want to touch on a couple of the key must-haves when you're building a website, right? The first thing I want to tell you is think customer first. When you're designing, creating, crafting your website, designing, putting content and developing it, there's three key parties I want you to focus on and three key parties I want you to build it for. The number one party is your customer. Build the website for who's reading it. Don't build it for just yourself. Customer first, then your brand, your identity, then factor Google, right? But start with customer first. What's the purpose of your website? Who are we marketing it to? And who's going to be reviewing, reading, reviewing this particular content? So the content you want to create and the content you want to focus on is for your customer. Design, make sure it's professional, really highlights your brand, your identity, your value. Content, make sure it's unique, right? There's a huge difference between stock photos from iStock or Google of the happy plumber under the sink who just looks super excited and wearing all sorts of overalls and all sorts of bits and pieces, and it's the same photo of that happy plumber that's on 1,050 other plumbing websites. Authentic photos, personality, content, videos builds a lot of trust. When you're building your content, designing your website, start with problem solving. Your customer, 9 times out of 10, started their journey on Google looking for a local plumber or a service provider because they had some sort of problem, hoping to find the solution. So through content, let's focus on providing that solution. Let's build our content for our customer. Focus and highlight your competitive edge. What is truly unique about your business? Because on Google, it's a very competitive marketplace, right? When people are looking for plumbers, at the click of their fingers, they have 1,050 different plumbing companies that they can choose from. They land on your site. First impressions are important. For whatever reason, they decide it's not relevant, not the right business, loads too slow, it's not mobile friendly, whatever reasons, there's 1,000 reasons. They leave and just go to the next plumbing company on Google. So highlighting competitive edge and uniqueness is important. You want to build value through customers. You want to build value through reviews, testimonials, highlight your projects, highlight your services, highlight your solutions, your craftsmanship. Yeah. These are all very, very important. So the role of a custom website is a lot more than just a website. I'm not a big fan of templates. I'm not a big fan of basic sites. I'm not a big fan of just relying on one landing page. Your website is a huge asset to your business. Just going to show you a couple of examples for no other reason than just maybe give you a couple of ideas in terms of some websites. These are a couple of our clients' websites that we've created. Now, these websites do two things. They elevate these businesses' brands phenomenally, really highlighting their business, their value, their identity, and play more than just the role of generating leads. However, they are amazing lead generators. They convert extremely well from Google when someone searches looking for a plumbing company or looking for plumbing services, lands on this particular site because we're marketing it, they convert really well. So they generate volumes of leads and quality of leads. Just a couple of examples here for you to have a bit of a sticky beak. Again, authentic, real photos. That's really Gary in the photo. That's not a stock imagery. We did a lot of custom content highlighting his specific uniqueness. Gary being a plumber in Sydney for 27 years. He's an absolute veteran and well established and well experienced, very reputable and has a great name. So our goal was to really brand and highlight Gary himself, and that's playing a definite good role. Another site, Jeff McDonald up in the Gold Coast, industry leaders by far in both commercial, residential, really good, strong online review. We've highlighted the reviews to build extra trust, and again, another great example of a custom website, highlights brand and converts leads really well. So Let's dive in now because we are running out of time quickly into Google My Business, right? GMB and the importance of. Oh, sorry guys, I'm not sure what's going on there, but we're back. The importance of Google My Business, right? So for those who don't know what Google My Business is, essentially it's Google's local business directory. Right? The rise of mobile, the rise of local, the rise of small business and local search has driven the evolution and the most important, I'll say most important asset that you can control and you can have amazing impact in your business today is your Google My Business profile. So essentially it is this: your Google searching business name, it's always going to be the first asset and the most dominant asset. Whether searching from a mobile or searching from a desktop, it's the most dominant asset for your business. It is a key profile. So when I talk about businesses reviewing you, businesses going back and having a look at who you are, going back and deciding before they call, before they engage, before they are part of their DD, reviewing a tender, before they build a relationship, whether you're a strata or a property manager, even if it's local Frank before he gets you over for the hot water system, that's the first thing. If he does decide to have a sticky beak at you and just sort of make sure that you guys are who you say you are, that is the number one thing they're going to look at. Take full control of your Google My Business listing. If you don't have one already, set it up. If you have one, fill it out completely and take full control of it. I'm going to show you a couple of ideas. I'll say this now. This particular one, if you take none of what I've said today, and there's probably a couple that are gonna probably thinking, well, this bloke is just talking way too fast and talking too much dribble, that's cool. If you don't take away anything, please, excuse me, please focus and take away this. This is the most important thing. It's your Google My Business listing. Again, you can see some of the profiles, how they look, and the importance of. Now, a couple of key areas, right? Local search, local ranking. The goal is for you to also rank locally. These are not just profiles for someone to go and search for you. These are also profiles and opportunities for you to actually market and gain exposure and promote your business locally. So the ideal situation is we want to get that business profile to rank for local search. If I'm a local plumber in Cairns, then I want this to be I want to be ranking locally when someone types in from Cairns, local plumber near me, or plumbing services Cairns, so on and so forth, right? Cool. Now, it is the top of search for your business name. People search, they trust, and they buy local. So the percentage of people that search and click from a business to a GMB listing is becoming super, super, super high. Google My Business is transparent. And this is what I'm going to talk about now. Reviews, right? And I've highlighted it and I've written it 3 times and I've put 3 exclamation marks behind it because it is just super important. Reviews at this stage will make or break your business, particularly in the plumbing market, particularly in local communities, right? It can make or break a business, and I've seen it happen a number of times. Consumers these days are a lot more educated. They're a lot more knowledgeable. Users, people that search on Google, you and me, right? We know the world a little bit better, yeah? And it's the rise of the digital age that's brought that on. Now, looking at reviews, people on other review sites, platforms, you can control reviews. So on your Facebook page, there's a review tab, but you can remove the reviews from your profile if you want. So if you've got a couple of shit reviews, you can hide your reviews. Google is one of the only platforms that is just completely transparent. Good luck getting a negative review removed, right? Consumers know that. So what it does, it allows transparency between customer and yourself, right? You can't hide. Your reviews tell all. So the importance of the reviews on your GMB profile is super high, right? I want to highlight just some statistics, right? So for some stats that have done a bit of research and why this has become so important and why it plays such a big role in our business these days. Some of these statistics are mind-blowing. 76% of people say that they trust online reviews as much as they trust a personal recommendation. Right? So 76% of people will look at online reviews and say they trust those reviews as much as Steve down the road who said, hey, go call John's Plumbing. That's unbelievable. 57% use Google to look at reviews. So Google is the go-to place when somebody does want to see what other customers have to say about your business. 87% read reviews online before inquiring. So now think about the importance of it. Now start to think about your business profile. Now start to think about if you do have a Google My Business profile or you do have a strong digital footprint or not, or you don't have any reviews or you have a couple of shit ones. Now start to think about, again, how many customers or opportunities you've probably missed out on as a result. It's untrackable. We'll never know. But I can tell you, it's huge. It's a lot. 87% will read a review before inquiring a business. So there's a big portion who don't inquire with you as a result of lack of reviews or poor quality digital footprint. 62% say that they will not buy from a brand that doesn't have reviews. That's massive. 56% of consumers read at least 4 reviews before they make an inquiry. Again, these are stats, cool. You can find statistics all day long, and I'm sure everybody who watches the news and gets COVID updates and percentages are probably sick and tired of statistics. I am too, but this is your business. This is important, and I just wanted to stamp home the fair dinkum seriousness about Google reviews, the role that they can play in your business, the money they can save you, the money they can make you, the opportunities you're either missing out on or you have in front of you if you get in control now. Good. Let's touch on social media. I know we're going hard and fast, guys. I apologize. Everyone's probably sweating and thinking, shit, this guy can talk underwater and he is sprinting. However, there's a lot of info and I just want to sort of touch on and highlight a couple of key things. I believe you guys are going to get the slides after. Provide more content, links, no matter what you guys need. But I just wanted to make sure that what you take away today is impactful and actionable. I didn't want to spend an hour on a boring old topic. I want to go hard, fast, give you guys some really good content and takeaways that you can start to implement. Websites and marketing material allows you to speak the truth whilst your socials provide the proof. So what social platforms, right? And again, I want to talk about some of the misconceptions with social media. Now, I'm not saying don't go and spend money on advertising on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, so on and so forth. I'm a big believer of advertising on all channels, right? If you're ready to take your business to the next level, marketing is your best investment. Invest into growth. And it starts with marketing. And I can guarantee you it starts with digital. That sounds biased because I own a digital marketing agency, but I'm telling you right now, invest smartly, strategically, wisely. But if you really want to stretch and execute correctly, then all channels are important. Start with Google, but all channels are important. Now, what social platforms are important? Remember, this is for business profile building. I'm not here to talk about how to get leads from Facebook overnight. Nope. I'm not talking about how to spend money on Facebook or Instagram. Nope. I'm talking about building your profile and elevating your business's reputation online. I say this, start with whatever comes up on Google. Start with the main 4 or 5, fair income. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, obviously Google My Business. We spoke about that. YouTube is a massive one. It is so often neglected because video content sometimes is difficult. The rise of video is massive. The trust you can build in your customers, eyes, audience, the reputation, the personality, the message you can tell through video. It doesn't have to be high quality, but video, talking directly to the customer and building a strong YouTube channel is huge. Don't neglect YouTube. Just to FYI, YouTube's actually the second largest search engine behind Google, which Google owns. So it's part of that ecosystem. Get in control. So I do recommend setting up and having an active profile across as many of your social media platforms, but particularly on the main ones being Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're going to dive into a couple of key sections and key points. A couple of profiles there, just give you an example, right? There's the Instagram profile, a couple of, I beg your pardon, YouTube profile, another YouTube profile, just to give an example. So for the purpose of profile building, right, this is the goal, right? Now, when someone goes to Google search, your business name looks for reviews, we know that Facebook's going to rank. We know that your LinkedIn's going to rank. We know that your Instagram's going to rank. So these are things that your businesses are looking at, customers are looking at. Linking your Facebook social media profiles from your website is a big trust building factor and often done, right? And I am the same guy. When I look for a business, before I pick up the phone, I do two things. I look at their GMB, their Google My Business reviews. That is first go-to. Then the next go-to is their Instagram. That's me. That's how I will make my decision, a judgment, opinion, and perception of a business or a product or a service before I make a decision to engage. I go Instagram and GMB, but some go YouTube and Facebook. So basically, we want to try and get across as many of them as possible. Post activity and consistency is key, right? Just get active. People want to see that you're alive. Again, if your last post was Happy Friday or Monday or Coffee Time in May 2017 or Happy Anzac Day, and it's a photo of that everyone else is posting, I'm not judging that. I'm not, because creating content is a struggle, but I'm going to give you some tips in a second. But posting something regularly and activity is key. Go engagement. Focus on content that's relevant, content that's unique. Branded posts. Put your logo, put your identity, put your value, your color schemes. Be real and authentic. So don't pretend. Authenticity is key. People want to know who you are. People want to understand the personality behind the brand, the people behind the brand. We're in a service-based industry. People buy from people. You want to identify, and I'll talk about in a second, who your customer actually is. That's the best place to start. Who is your customer and what do they want? What's important to them when they're looking for my business? What information do they want? What type of buyers are they? Me, I'll give you an example of the type of buyer I am. My wife hates it. I will pay up to 30% more for the good bloke. Fair income. So I'll pay up to 30% more for the person who's friendly, approachable, personable, trustworthy, walks me through, educates me, makes me feel comfortable with the decision I'm making. Do you know what I mean? And just general friendly bloke. I'll pay up to 30% more than the cheap arsehole who's quick and efficient. That's me. That's not everybody. So when working out what to post, try and think about who your customer is, who's going to be seeing this content. And that goes for your website as well. So let's get into content. What content? Purposeful content. Now, I'm going to talk about posting content here, and I'm going to primarily be starting with the idea of posting content across your social media profiles. But this information is extremely applicable and relevant for all of your marketing material. Websites, landing pages, videos, your flyers, your brochures, your mailbox drops, your whatever, right? It is extremely applicable. So stay loyal to your brand, your identity, your personality. Again, be authentic. Think uniqueness. Think competitors. Think unique selling points, competitive edge. Everything you're doing is trying to build trust and highlight value, right? But if the same trust building elements and the same value is across all of your competitors, then it's not unique. Standing out from a competitive market is about highlighting uniqueness. Identify your competitive edge, and all of your marketing material content needs to be marinated in your competitive edge, your uniqueness, right? Think customer first. Who are they? How do they buy? What's important to them? What do they want to know? This is the best tip I can give you, right? When you're trying to think about, all right, we've got to build a website, Jack, we need to create some content. All right, we're going to start posting on. All right, we're going to start creating some videos. All right, we're going to start sending some emails to customers. All right, we're going to do a brochure for the company or whatever it is, right? The best place to start, because everything is for your customer, remember, the best place to start is here. Think about FAQs. Frequently asked questions. And the way to identify that is this. Go back, sit with your team, sit with your booking agent, sit with your sales team, technicians, and you guys as a company, right? And think to yourself, out of the last 100 inquiries we've received, right? So inbound calls, right, or reach outs, whether they're referrals or they found our fridge magnet or they found us on Google, whatever, right? During the inquiry stage, so during the prospect stage and booking and quoting process, what are the common questions that we seem to get asked? So when someone first picks up the phone, oh yeah, g'day, hey, do you guys do X, Y, Z? Write that down. Hey, you know, with that, how does that X, Y, Z? Write that down. Identify what are the questions that often get asked by your actual prospects, customers, and targeted audience. Do the same thing with customers that you've completed jobs with, whilst on site, during the quoting process, post job, follow up. What questions are getting asked? You'll come up with 20, 30, 40 different questions. All of a sudden, we have a really good library of content. What do our customers want to know? That's the answer. They're the questions they want to know. So let's start promoting the answers as solutions to customers' problems and inquiries through our marketing. We go back before and highlight the statistics. 65% of people make the decision to proceed before they even pick up the phone. That's how they do it. That's why they do it. That's how you get to that 65%. Because throughout their research, looking at your website, marketing materials, prospecting, lead nurture stage, value is being built, trust is being built, problems are being solved, decisions are being made. Then the inquiry. And then if you've got that sales service process down pat, that's how we win jobs. So it's super important that your marketing starts to do some of the heavy lifting. I'm going to highlight just some examples of content that you can use post across social media. Company and branded stuff, right? Now, this is super important. People want to see and understand the brand. So I'm a big believer of identifying your brand, your color schemes, your fonts, your logos, your imagery, and sprinkling it across all of your posts. Be proud to promote your brand and your business, and post regularly. Throughout your social profiles, highlight your services, highlight your solutions, highlight what it is you do, right? Again, you're a plumber, great, but there's probably 5 or 6 or 7 key categories of services under what a plumber does. Under each of those, there's another 10 or 15. So let's identify and tell the story, communicate this. Promotional and value, right? Let's highlight our offers, promotions, edge, call to action. Let's use our platforms, let's use our social media profiles to advertise, to promote. Let's offer something. Let's make it enticing. Let's make our audience see what we have to offer. And again, that may be that competitive edge that we're talking about. That may be the difference between you and the other customer that they're looking at this current stage.
Oh, Matt, I think you might be on mute.
Sorry, guys, you got me? Oh,
Yep, we can
sorry,
hear
my
you
bad,
now.
my bad. So, excuse me, clients and reviews. That's a big one. Obviously, we want to highlight, we spoke about reviews before. We spoke about reviews on your Google My Business and people that go to your Google My Business profile or other review platforms to see what other customers have to say. But what about those that don't? What about those that only stay on your website? You need to have those reviews, testimonials, projects, case studies on the website. What about those that only go to your Facebook profile? Same thing. What about those that only look at your Instagram? Same thing. So we want to also create and put those reviews, testimonials, case studies, projects, updates, customers we work with, whether you're partnered with strata companies, partnered with real estate agencies, working with builders, developers, construction companies, supplier for Reese. These are the important brands, logos, identities that you want to highlight. They build trust. FAQs, tips, another good one. Like I said before, identify customers' problems. What do they want to know? In this day and age, your customer, again, I said to it before, is well educated. We know what a plumber does. We know when we need a plumber. So what's the difference? We want to give them more information. We want to give them tips, ideas, understanding about what it is we do behind the scenes. Here's a couple of quick tips. You look at our business. I'll give you an example. We are massive on education, right? We have the smallest sales team. We've got 50 staff. We've only got one person in sales because we're not big front end. We're big on education. We're massive on education. We want to provide as much knowledge and info and control to a small business. So when they do decide or want to work with us, they have a lot more understanding, expectations, foundations. So we promote through educating and giving away knowledge and tips and strategies and tools. The plumbing market is no different. You know, people look for DIY. You know, a big lead generator as a keyword for a lot of clients and a big keyword on Google that generates a lot of search volume and YouTube is anything DIY. Because sometimes before people want to spend money with a service provider, they want to see if they can try and fix it before. But a lot of those can't, turns into an inquiry, turns into a job. So DIY is a big one. Like, I'll give you an example where, you know, in the aircon industry, when someone's aircon stops working and someone doesn't know much about aircon, the first thing they think of is not, hey, I better go spend $8,500 and get a brand new air conditioning unit. No, they don't. They look for someone who can hopefully fix that, someone who can repair an air conditioning unit. But not all are repairable. Turns into a new install and supply, right? So start to think about how your customers start their journey, what they're looking for. So tips, education, information is an important one. Company updates. Again, we spoke hard about the purpose of this marketing material, profile building, GMB, websites, all these bits and pieces. And we focus hard on customers, getting leads, turning into leads, building trust. Cool. And that's important, right? That's what we're here for. But I know for a fact, you know, coaching, mentoring, working with so many different trades businesses, particularly when you're working with AiiMS, and that's a bit of a flex there, getting work, getting leads is not the problem. Is not the problem, always. One of the biggest pain points, and I'm sure out of the people in the room, one of the biggest pain points is always finding staff, recruiting talent, quality tradesmen, technicians, experience. Building your profile, elevating the quality of your company also attracts high quality talent. People want to work for great companies. Elevate your identity online, I promise you, will attract a lot better talent at the same time. In wrapping up, quick case study, right? And I'm sorry about this little icon emoji here. Our marketing manager is going to kill me because I added this in myself last night. She spent so much time trying to clean up this presentation because it was off-brand and I'm no graphic designer. She cleaned it all up and then I went and added a little logo of a guy. So Abby, you're probably sitting in. I'm sorry about that. But I want to highlight a particular case study. Now, unfortunately, I can't show who the particular client is. I asked him if you minded, and he said, oh, look, he'd prefer not because he thinks all of you are then going to go and try and steal all of his secrets and strategies and take away his business. But case study for a plumber of ours in Melbourne, right? Just want to quickly summarize it hard and fast for you to give you a good understanding, right? Again, the importance of the profile, the importance of things outside of the investment in advertising, right? He's a residential plumber, right? Spending big money on Google ads. So it's pay per click, right? He's throwing money at a daily budget, getting clicks, generating leads. He's only running with a basic template website when he first joined us, right? Basic template website, stock imagery, who we are, 5 pages, plumber, located XYZ, right? He had a very poor social profile. So I think he had a Facebook and an Instagram, no LinkedIn, no YouTube, nothing else. He was the guy whose last post was, Happy Australia Day 2016. And that was basically it. It wasn't used as an asset. There wasn't any material in it. And his Google My Business profile was essentially untouched, unclaimed. He had 6 reviews. Most of them were shit house and 2.3 star rating, right? But he was running hard on Google Ads, which again, I told you before, is a really strong front-end lead generator for the plumbing market, particularly residential. 150 visitors roughly. And again, these are rough numbers just to give you an indication of where this goes. 150 visitors per day directly from Google Ads. That was converting him 8 phone calls. 8 leads, right? So maths based on spend, give or take $131 was his cost per lead. With that as his marketing and digital assets in place, with Google Ads being his marketing strategy for lead gen. $131 cost per lead. Now, average value per job for a plumber, if you do the maths, if he converts all of them, not bad. The numbers stack up, but nobody converts 8 out of 8. I can tell you that. If you do, I'd love to speak to you because we can do great things together. But $131 cost per lead running the way he was running. So we got a hold of it. We said, listen, we got to sort this out. We can't run with a basic website. You're spending on ads. Great, it's working, no problems at all. But you're going to run out of puff. You're only renting on Google. We've got to start building foundations online. We've got to start future-proofing your business, elevating your brand and your profile. Great. Implemented unique custom websites. So custom design, custom content, right? I'm talking authentic photos, videos, really good branded designs. User experience was great. The website became a really strong asset. We activated and branded socials. Only like 3 or 4 posts a week. It wasn't ridiculous. We weren't going super cool strategic. We weren't doing TikTok videos and all sorts of stuff. No, just getting our branding and our message out there across our social media profiles. That included YouTube with a couple of videos, profile stuff, client stuff. GMB was a big part, activated that. Now we implemented immediately a automation plan part of your CRM system via SMS, right? To start collecting reviews. So the thing here is, if you aren't collecting reviews right now, it has to become part of your system. Your entire team has to be on the journey of it's a KPI to request a review. Just like it's a KPI to get your invoice paid, it's a KPI to collect a review from a customer. There's a number of strategies and ways to do so. I can talk to you about them if you need advice. But for this particular customer, we went back to old customers, asked for reviews, but it's not as impactful. We got to do it on the job. So we basically, over a period of time, moved his review score from 6, 2.3 to 89 and 4.4. That's fine. 4.4 is fine. 5 out of 5, 100 reviews. It's not that important. But 4.4, 89 reviews, amazing. Same marketing strategy, same dollars spent. He started doing 15 leads a day. So his cost per lead became $70. All of a sudden, spending the same money in ad spend, doubling the volume of leads he's getting, halving the cost he's having to spend to get those leads. It's not as black and white as that. There's obviously a journey and a detailed plan behind that, but I just wanted to bring to life the impact, the importance of building your profile. If you're running Google Ads with nothing to support it, you're inefficient. Again, I said it to you before, it's not about how many customers you may be winning. It's about how many customers you're definitely losing as a result of a poor profile. I'm out of breath. I think we've sort of summarized just to an hour. So in wrapping up, guys, again, we've gone hard, we've gone fast. I've screamed at you for the last 60 minutes. There's obviously a lot more information. There's a lot of things that you can do. I hope that some of this information has been beneficial, whether you take away 1%, 2%, or all of it. But what we want to basically offer everyone as part of the relationship with MPAQ and all attendees and involvement in the webinar and event essentially is the following, right? And again, I want to say one thing quick. I hope you can realize we're not fluffy. We're straight shooters. We're fair income. There's no hard sell with us. We're down. We're just dead set fair income about our approach, right? So we're going to offer you this, basically a digital profile health check, right? It's a report, a review. We'll basically do a full review of your business online, how you stack up against your competitors, and give you almost a SWOT analysis, right? No problems. Offering you a one-on-one consultation. That's either with myself or one of our senior coaches, right? We're going to talk business, sales, marketing. As a result of that, we're going to deep dive and then provide you a customized, tailored to your business, plumber digital marketing strategy. The blueprint, the exact steps, blueprint, platforms, strategies, steps, even budget, what we recommend you should be spending in order to execute your goals for your particular plumbing business. Now, again, we've got insights, data, and commercial experience that stems back 10 years. So whatever our advice is going to be, it's not going to be to sell. It's going to be to make sure you have the right information to make the right decisions. So if you are interested, I think Corby will jump in a sec, but if you are interested in taking up that offer, again, no obligation. It's simple, straightforward. It's nothing short of just a yarn. And let's see if there's anything that we can help with. Even if you have questions and want to have a session with myself or the team at AiiMS, in the comments section now, just throw the word yes or interested or whatever works for you guys. At worst, reach out to MPAQ or myself at AiiMS. I believe you guys will get a copy of the slide or the presentation post webinar. At worst, hope you took some information. Follow us on our YouTube page and subscribe, or our Instagram. We post a lot of information, content, education. Other than that, I'm Matt Walker, and it's been a great opportunity, and thank you very much for your time, and all the best.
Thanks so much, Matt. I don't know about anyone else, but I have a full page of notes next to me of things that even MPAQ we're going to start implementing after watching that.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. As well, anyone, if you've got any questions, chuck them in the chat box now.
Yeah.
We have gone over a little bit, but I'm sure if anyone's got any questions, Matt can stick around and answer them for you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you want to get in touch with Matt, we do have his details on our website, and that you can give the team at AiiMS a call or an email, and they'll be able to help you out with all of this as well. If you've got any more questions as well, you can reach out to them.
100%. Feel free to reach out to us or speak to the guys. But yeah, if anyone has any questions now, yeah, happy to put it in the chat box and answer anything if there's any particular questions. But again, look, we're pretty personal, pretty straightforward. So give me a buzz or send us an email or whatever, no stress. We're easy going. But I really hope that you guys took some information here. There are another 1,700 hours that we can speak about digital marketing, but we want to touch on the most important things, particularly in the situation that we are in at from a small business perspective. So plumbing online is competitive, and I think if you have a good strategy, you can really execute and do really well.
Yeah. Don't think we've gotten any questions yet.
No stress. Thank you guys for your interest. Well, I just screamed at everybody for the last bloody hour. I feel like I've been holding my breath for 60 minutes. Have you worked with a plumber? There we go. There's a question. I'll answer that if you want. Have you worked with a plumber in regional population? So regional areas, absolutely we have. So obviously, look, a lot of the most competitive and fast-paced, plumbing markets are in the key cities and towns: Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, Gold Coast, so on and so forth. They're very competitive. Budgets required, aggression's required, a lot of platforms required. So a really, really strong approach is the same principles are required in a more regional or community-based area. However, the competition isn't ridiculous. So it's a different methodology in terms of the brand or the profile we build. The thing I love about it is you can absolutely dominate in those areas. So we've got a couple in quite a few regional towns in Queensland, in New South Wales, and in Victoria, where they've gone from one of the local plumbers to the king of the town, based on the fact of competition isn't ridiculous. Working with a team like us and implementing a strong strategy, all of a sudden they are basically dominant on Google and dominant online. So 100% is a good opportunity in a lot of those regional areas. Any recommended content creation for builders, creation builders for images. So absolutely, like I like straight off the easiest one and the most accessible one is Canva. In creating content. Look, it's quick, simple, easy. Again, I would probably say create the strategy. So basically, I'll give you the tip on what we do behind the scenes. So we do a lot of social media management, content creation for clients, video and social content, right? Basically, what we do is we start the journey off and build almost like a mood board, right? Identify the brand, the color, the schemes, the type of post, the designs of posts, the templates for posts. Then we identify the categories, right? So we say, okay, well, we're gonna run with these 8 categories, and like we spoke about before, brand, CTA or promotion, services, FAQ solutions, project updates on the job. So there's 8 or 10 categories. Then we create these design templates for these categories, right? Now they're all customized templates, branded and so on and so forth. And then as we roll throughout the next 30 days of the content strategy, we start to implement the real content, photo, video, designed imagery into these post category templates. So that's the approach. That's probably the recommendation. There are a couple of platforms and tools where you can dabble and create a brand, but I'd start with your brand first. If you don't already have a professional designed brand, so color and logos and fonts and all that kind of stuff, start there before you start creating irrelevant branded content in a platform like Canva. Best way to ask for a review with SMS from Jeff, how to send shortened link with our GMB. So yes, you can get a shortened link directly from your mobile if you're logged into Gmail and access your actual Google My Business profile by going to pressing share. Look, the best way. So the short answer is there's 1,000 ways. It has to work for your business type, has to work and adapt into your internal system, your process. So what is your current workflow from all the way from inquiry to receiving or to finishing job? What are all the steps? What are all the ways you currently communicate with a customer? What are the touch points and who's in charge and who's involved in it, right? So depending on that, depending on who the customer is it will give you the answer of what's the best way to ask for it, right? But I believe this. When booking the job, booking agent, mention it. Have your booking agent mention. And towards the end of the job, we'd love it. We really thrive off our customers' feedback. We're a word of mouth business. The technician, once he's finished with the job, if you're satisfied, he may ask if possible to write us a review. Just short and sweet. Technician arrives 3 days later. G'day, Stacey, going to set up, grab the stuff out of the van, and this is what we're going to be doing today, so on and so forth. Also, I'm not sure they mentioned at the end of the job, if you're satisfied, we love our customers' feedback, maybe give us a review. Just slightly mention it. Nurture it. Nurture the customer to mentally be, all right. Now, you can't ask a review if you don't prioritize your service delivery, if you don't prioritize your customer's experience, if you don't tick all the boxes in delivering an amazing service, right? We can't ask for a review. Can't just expect them to give us a review. So none of it works unless you're doing the right things from a sales, service, and customer experience perspective, right? Post-job, then and there. Customer's finished, going to wrap it up. 15 minutes to collect the tools and just sweep up and clean, so on and so forth. If possible, that's how we do it. SMS the link straight away, get them to it right then and there. That's my personal preference. My personal preference is to not surprise attack them. Hey, give us a review. I'll wait for you, and breathe down their neck. Or it's not to go home and 2 days later send an email to say, hey, could you leave us a review? That's fine, but your strike rate's not as high. So I believe if you're doing 10 or 15 jobs a week, you should be at least getting 8 or 12 reviews. That's the goal. That is dead set the goal. The impact, and that's why I'm saying it's so important to your business, spending money on marketing or not spending on marketing. I say it has to be catered for in your current system, your process, your actual operation. So your technicians, your team, your staff, your booking agent, all should be part of that same initiative and enthusiasm for review collection. Many of them communities usually ask, how much should I invest? Jason, g'day, Jace. How much should I invest in digital marketing? Any suggestions as a starting point? 5-10%. Look, my personal and some will disagree with this. My personal opinion, and again, I'm in advertising, so it sounds biased, right? My personal opinion is if you are working out your advertising budget, and it's good to have a budget, good to have a forecast, but if you're working out your budget to advertise and you're working that budget out purely with your accountant, you're doing it wrong. Advertising is not a bill. It's not another line item on the balance sheet. It's an investment. So essentially, the short answer is everything you can to support everything you're trying to achieve. There's no percentage I would start with, because if we're a business that's just starting, then we don't have the budget. If we're a well-established business, then our expectations are different to if we're a well-established commercial business looking for branding exposure to create new relationships, we're different to a fast-paced, on-demand emergency residential maintenance plumber who has 12 vans on the road, whose goal is lead generation, whose goal is a lead volume, who focuses on upsells and cross-sells and building repeat business. So the strategy is different. So the short answer, Jason, it's a good question because it's a very valid question and we get asked all the time. Marketing is definitely not a bill. It has to be an investment. And the best thing to work it out is, what are you prepared to spend to get one customer? If a customer's worth $1,000, what would you pay to get the $1,000? Silly, just very basics. I'll do figures with anybody who's interested, and we'll work out some of the formulas on how we get to the right effective recommended budgets. But start to work out what your client's value is, what the client's life cycle is, right? And then start to work out what your margins are. Then start to work out what your conversion rates on leads from marketing are. And then work out what you should be spending to get one of those customers. But again, in a session, yeah, I'll work out some of the formulas that work out how to forecast it. The beautiful thing with a great digital marketing strategy team is the tracking stuff we're going to do. So we'll set you up with unbelievable tracking dashboard where you can link every single thing that you can imagine to give amazing information, not just in marketing, but even your leads and sales and so on and so forth, right? But the goal is in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, once you start to have this in place, optimizing, running effective campaigns, running Google, AdWords, SEO, and it starts to flow, it can become a bit of a trend, a formula. So at the start, when we invest, when we start, you work with me, you say, okay, hey, we want to do X, Y, and Z. We're doing a calculated forecast, right? Calculated forecast. But in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, we're developing trends and patterns. Now we know the numbers. Now we know that we can, from $100 spent equals X amount in leads. X amount of leads, we convert at X percent, which turns into X jobs. Our average value per job is X, and if we upsell, it's X plus X. All of a sudden, we know the formula. So we get to a stage and say, okay, we want to put another van on the road. To have a van run at 100% capacity, we need to get an extra X jobs. So we need another X leads. Based on trend, we spend in this particular platform, based on the things that we have with Matt names, we know exactly what we need to spend to get what we need to get. That's basically the goal. Hope that answers the questions. I think that was the last question. But again, if anyone has any questions or wants more information, I've got information coming out my ears. So feel free to reach out. And even, there seems to be a lot of guys who have said that they'd love to book in a session, and that's amazing. So we'll go through all of that stuff. Anyone who hasn't put their details in, no stress, any questions at all, or you need any information, reach out to Corby, MPAQ, or myself at AiiMS, and love to chat.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Matt. That's some
Thank
awesome
you.
information there for everyone to digest now. And
Awesome.
if I'll send an email around with the presentation and any more information in, it'll be all in the email, but always reach out if you've got any questions. Thanks so much, Matt, and thanks everyone for joining us.
Thanks,
Hope
guys.
everyone has a good week.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for joining. Nice to meet you all. And
Thanks.
and thank you, Corby.
Yeah, all good. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Bye-bye. See you guys. Bye.